get rich, son, it's a merchant you should be. You can deal in goods from coast to tide and earn more than enough. But don't buy or sell cross-border, son, cause that's awfully risky stuff. We didn't have no CISG. If we bought or sold in another state, we didn't know what the law would be. But now there's a convention to make global trade more free, except them darling US courts just treat it like the UCC. As a young man, I took up those words my daddy said. I became a merchant, traded goods to earn my bread. But I would not buy or sell beyond the borders of my state, cause if the deal was not domestic, none could tell my legal fate. We didn't have no CISG. We were clueless how the law would go if we dealt internationally. But now under this treaty, global commerce, it's a breeze, except some jerks from Pittsburgh and Denmark say I can't recover no attorney fees. But now there is a treaty when I buy or sell a farm. I can deal with folks from everywhere, from Arles to Zanzibar. And the goods I buy, while they're always fine, and my buyers, they never sue. You know, I hardly need a lawyer. Yes, my life's perfection true. Because we have that CISG. There's no risk in international sales, far as the eye can see. But I just received a shipment, so I must quickly say goodbye. Because German courts and the Austrians too give me just 5 minutes to inspect and notify. Yes, I am Professor Harry Fleckner from the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, and that was the CISG song. I don't mean to brag, but of all the songs that have ever been written about an international commercial law treaty, that song, my CISG song, is like, you know, one of them. If you'd like to hear the CISG song, you can do so on the website of the Center for International Legal Education at the University of Pittsburgh. That's the CILE. The CILE at the University of Pittsburgh was founded and is directed by my extraordinary colleague, Professor Ronald Brandt. Professor Brandt has had an amazingly distinguished career as a scholar, as a teacher, as an educational entrepreneur, working with universities working with teams from over 20 universities to help them start to participate in the VIS. And that is just one of an extraordinary list of accomplishments that he has had over his career. And every one of those accomplishments, every one of them is entirely due to me. Yep, the whole thing, because I'm pretty sure he has worked so hard and done such amazing things as a way of atoning for the bad judgment of putting my song on his website. So I'd like to do another song for you. This is a song about the moot itself. I have been doing it for a number of years, and whenever I introduce the song, I always note that this is a song about the moot itself. So if I don't do it now, when the heck will I ever do it? It's a song about this wonderful educational event that for 24 years has provided an amazing educational experience to thousands upon thousands of students who have participated in the moot. The Mooties, as of course you know. You're called. That success of the moot, the extraordinary success of the moot, is due first of all to the genius of the founder and longtime director of the moot, Professor Bernstein. And talk about a hard act to follow. The administration of the moot has now been taken over by the triumvirate, Patricia Natal, Chris Keith, Chris Key, and Stefan Kroll, and they have managed to keep the Moot completely building on its own success, so it's just an amazing accomplishment. But I must say, the real driver of the Moot is the extraordinary time, energy, and talent that you Mooties put into preparing your arguments, writing the memos, things like that. That drives everything, but it also, I think, tends to crowd out other aspects of your life. In particular, I think it makes it very difficult once the problem comes out to maintain much of a social life because of the many demands of the Moot. This is a song about that aspect of the Moot, and it's called the Moody Blues. Well, I'm a this moody baby. I work that problem day and night. Yes, I am. I'm a this moody baby, writing memos till dawn's light. Why I don't ever take no break. The Moot gave my social life a light. 'Cause I'm a this moody baby. I can argue orally. You know I can. Because I'm a this moody baby, got a response for every inquiry. Just do not ask me about my love life, because the Moot took that away from me. Well, I'm sick of studying substance, CISG coming out my ears. I've had it with procedure, arbitration rules driving me to tears. So if you want to talk about currency exchange rates, cause you think that's interesting, I'll suggest you deposit your dinars where they'll block your large intestine. Because of this, I know the rules for a sale. My passport was issued by Vindavona, and Schwarzberg is where they send my mail. Well, you're a this moody baby. You're in the library till it is closed. Oh yeah, you know you are. Because you're a this moody baby. That problem's got you engrossed. The only time you get high is when you climb up to the darkest shows. And then you got to Vienna, you found Mooties everywhere. They were all bright and good looking, fancy clothes and nice hair. And cause you haven't had a date, some stars were shown in the night above. That's when you realize that you're in the mood for love. 'Cause you're a this moody baby. You just move till you're blind. Well, your team may or may not advance, but your love life sure got left behind. Well, we're all this Mooties, baby. Please sing this with me. We're all this Mooties, baby. And hear what we say. We're all this Mooties, baby. One more time. We're all this Mooties, baby. That's all the way. Our personalities took a beat, and our love life is as dead as a nail. We've all got passports from Vindavona, and Schwarzberg is where they send our mail. Almost not up here, but I don't know when you probably didn't notice when you came into the concert house tonight that on the exterior wall to the right of the entrance is a plaque that commemorates the fact that here in the concert house on this very stage is where the late great American composer and conductor of the New York Philharmonic, Leonard Bernstein, made his debut in Vienna. Or as I like to think of it, this is where Bernstein opened for me. Bernstein is no doubt best known for the wonderful music he wrote for the musical West Side Story, a retelling of the Romeo and Juliet tale in the setting of gang conflict in New York. And there's one song in that musical that in particular I've always really liked. It's clever, it's interesting, and it's a debate. It's a debate song. It's a debate between members of the group who have come to New York from Puerto Rico, debate between those who think they are better off staying in Puerto Rico, staying in New York, versus people who think they would be better off returning to Puerto Rico. And I was thinking about all this. I was thinking about Bernstein's connection to the concert house and thus to the Moot, and about that song, and it occurred to me, I bet I could adapt that song to be a debate between claimant and respondent in this year's program. That seemed like a good idea to me. It may not seem like much of an idea to you, but it seemed like a good idea to me. So I did it. I sat down, I adapted the song to be a debate between claimant and respondent in this year's program. And when I was done, it suddenly occurred to me, wait a minute, this is a debate. I can do part of this song. I could, for example, represent respondent's side of the debate. But somebody else has to, in fact, represent the claimant's side of the debate. Who could that be? But of course, as soon as the question was asked, the answer was obvious. I'm sure you're out there right now thinking, well, duh, Flicker. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out on stage to perform the part of claimant in tonight's song based on this year's problem. The great, the inimitable, the one, the only, you know you've been wanting to see her, especially those of you working on the substantive side of the problem, Professor Ingeborg Schweitzer. Now, Ingeborg, I've got to say, I'm a little surprised I talked you into doing this with me here tonight.
Well, Harry, this 10,000 you promised me really helped me make up the night.
Yeah, that's good. There's 10,000 Equatorian dinars, right?
What? Wait a second.
Here we go. We want to be in this mood. We'll shout with glee in this mood.
I represent claimant zealously.
As respondent, I'll kick your butt without mercy. We'll pay you in dollars American.
But we used to know Equatorian.
Well, that's no problem. Let's just fix an exchange rate. How about 1 to 2.01?
Wonderful. This way we lose only a couple million.
Seems about right to me. We will not pay the money laundry levy.
Oh, come on. I think you want your money dirty.
Well, yeah. But the fee is for your state where we have no link.
Come on, like old funky muscles, this argument stings. We want to be in this mood. We want to argue to old goons. We'll take careful notes of their feedback.
Cause later they're good for a big laugh. Your claim was not started in 60 days.
I guess counting is not one of your fortes.
But your fee and one paper were not on time.
Wow, your anal retentiveness just blows my mind.
When you lose, when you lose, you might stiff us for costs and fees. That's why, for these things, we need security.
Security? Come on! In this arbitration, there's just one sure thing.
Oh yeah, what's that?
When we're done, your butt will be in a sling. We want to be in this mood.
We think that would be a big coup.
We'll party with teens all around the end of town.
Then we'll rip out their throats in the advance round.
We all want to be in this mood. We all think that would be a big coup. your stuff.
But tonight let the dogs out.
Woof, woof, woof.
Have a great moot, and I know you will. Thanks.
University ask, what was the moot like? You tell them it was a very, very serious event. Well, to close the evening's program, I invite to the stage Professor Dr. Stefan Krell, who is the third of the co-directors.
Good evening, dear students. Please don't come to me and tell me it's difficult to argue claimant or respondent. Sitting on stage after this one here, that's probably the most difficult thing you can do. I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to tell you any administrative issues. I try to grab your attention by giving you some last moment insights into the case. So please take out your notebooks, whatever. I'm dictating some things now. First of all, the ancestral transparency rules. What is their role in this arbitration?
Nothing.
This whole thing is an educational exercise, and I just thought it would be good if you learned something about it. So there is no relevance whatsoever in that case. At least that was my intention. I don't know whether some of you came from now. The second point I would like to share with you is the experience when I flew to Brazil to discuss with my friends from CISG what rules or what problem we could devise. I was certain, 100% certain, that the person who invented aviation were the Wright brothers. Arriving in Brazil, I learned that is fake news. I learned that is Mr. Santos Dumont. I must admit I haven't verified that, but I can tell you it's fake news that only a team which represents Mr. Santos, the firm Santos Dumont or Santos D, will win this moot. That is definitely fake news. Second point, which I would like to mention in that regard, is also that we have a completely new scoring system. You already heard we are not scoring from 25 to 50 anymore, because we were of the view everybody coming here, coming to Vienna, is already within the top 50% minimum. And therefore we would ask you to start from there and say, these people are already within the top 50%, but they may need some improvement. They are already very good, but they can improve a little bit, and they're excellent. So please use the whole range we have now for the scoring. The last point to the students, it's an educational exercise. I know, and I have been coaching teams myself for quite some time, they had a different view, that it's not a competition. At the beginning, when we have a new system, you may not always feel that the arbitrators got it completely right. Carlos and I, we share a love for football. The only problem is, he doesn't want to talk about 2014, and I don't want to talk about 2002. So, there may be something where you have the impression that we should talk about 2014, but the arbitrators don't get it. So there may be issues where you have the impression I could have explained it to other arbitrators better. Irrespective of that, we are extremely grateful to all the arbitrators, and I also would like the students to be extremely grateful to all the arbitrators coming here, taking some of their family vacation, spending time, billable time, with you, trying to convey their ideas of how arbitration should be conducted. And I can tell you from my experience, there is not a single way of doing that. There's a lot of personal preferences, things you like, things you dislike. And I learned that over the last 30 years, and I very well understand that not everybody will be happy at the beginning to learn it here. But I can tell you one thing, better you have an arbitrator here who doesn't get it than have an arbitrator later on in real life who is losing your multi-million-dollar case. With that, my only advice I can give you, enjoy the time in Vienna, irrespective of what comes out of here. Make friends. I know that some of you may have lost relationships back home. You will find new relationships here, or you should find new relationships, and one thing, we will not charge you for that if you get married later on. That's all for free. We provide that for free. So there's just one thing missing. The BBC at a certain point in time in a major feature about the Moot said, the Moot is like the Olympics of international commercial law. And the Olympics are normally declared open. So I herewith declare the 24th Moot open. I wish you a great time. We would like to see a lot of you in the Dachgeschoss. Come, talk to us, and enjoy the Moot. Thank you.
That's it for the program. As you have seen when you came in, the caterers are prepared for you, and I wish you a good